Hey everyone, welcome to Casual Watch Talk Sunday Social. Got a bigger panel this week. Mark and I were holding the fort down last week. I think we did an okay job. But let's kick it off with the wristwatch check. Pete, you're in the hot seat. What are you wearing?
I am wearing a little neo vintage 1990s Gerard Perregaux Traveller 7000.
Wow.
Kind of GMT. It's like a GMT like the original Rolex was, in that the 24-hour hand is just slaved to the main hour hand, and you just use the bezel for a different time zone. It's actually it's funny. It's the oldest system. It's probably my favorite system. It's the far and away the easiest to use.
So it's a 12-hour bezel? No.
No, 24-hour bezel.
Okay.
So you got four hands, but the 24-hour hand can't be set independently from the main hand.
Okay. So it's consistent, and then the bezel does it. Oh,
then you use the bezel. That's how the original GMT Master worked.
Yeah.
And it's how I think the original Explorer worked too. The Explorer 2, I think that might have worked the same way, but not entirely sure.
Yeah, it's just I'm pretty sure, because it was just so you could know whether it was day or night when you were underground.
Yeah. Although theoretically, we should probably give it its new name, the Cave Dweller.
Cave Dweller.
That's right.
Oh dear. Also, see, look, people are learning stuff. That's what I mean. You tune into our live stream. It's not just chat. It's knowledge. Colby, what are you wearing?
Well, in honor of one of the new releases for today, I have the Accutron Spaceview 2020. It's a watch that I just love to death. I don't wear it all that often, but it's one watch that I let myself keep, even though I don't wear it that much, just because I think it's so darn cool.
Is that one actually a tuning fork?
No, this is an electrostatic movement, so this is quartz regulated.
Cool. Yeah, we'll get onto that soon. And then Patrick.
All right, let me take the dress watch that I don't usually would wear, but this is a Royal Orient watch.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I recently found this on an oddball Japan website, and I said I'm not usually one for dress watches. I absolutely hate the strap. I'll have to swap that out immediately because I'll never wear a black alligator, but just kind of a cool retro dressy watch that, I don't know, it just spoke to me.
Is it just that you don't like alligator skin straps, or are you part of like a pro alligator conservation group?
None of the above, but whenever I see just a black and white watch like this, I just think tuxedo. And I'm about as anti-tuxedo as it gets. So I feel like I'd be one of those guys who I make fun of, who I see go out to clubs and they're wearing their penny loafers. And
oh yeah.
Yeah, so I can't do
it. What size is that Orient?
I actually haven't pulled out the calipers, but it's a 36 or a 37. I'm not really sure. It's small, but the more I look at it, it doesn't look small. But I'm sure it's not a 38. So my hunch, I'm voting 37.
Got a big dial. Awesome. And then I'll round this out. I'm wearing that new RZE, the UTD
cool.
8000. Yeah, I love this. I did the interview with Huey, who's one of the founders there, or one of the guys that runs it now. And yeah, really, really cool. I will be getting, as soon as they become back available, I'll be getting the titanium bracelet for it. But I've been wearing this all week. Super light. I love it. And loads of people are whinging about the fact that it's only got a stopwatch, the main time, and an alarm. But if you are bothered about it, watch the interview. He explains exactly why that's the case. Okay. Right, we're going to do new releases. We're going to go through them. We're going to give our opinions on them. Before we kick it off, a little plug. I just reloaded some more stuff into the eBay store, so check that out. Also, if you just want to not buy anything off if you want to just support the channel, I got some stickers made. So get yourself a sticker for $3.50 plus free shipping to support the channel. I mean, cheap at twice the price.
And I have some of those stickers, and I can attest they're high quality, first rate.
You field tested the stickers for me.
Absolutely. They're on my water bottle right now.
See, you're testing it in extreme environments.
That's right.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Thank you so much for that. Okay, right. Let's dive in. Let's go with first one. Oh, okay, Colby. We'll go with a heavy hitter. This was your pick here.
Yeah. So Accutron revives the tuning fork movement and is going to release it in October of this year as part of an updated tuning fork caliber. The Accutron, what are they actually officially called? No, I forgot.
The Spaceview 314.
Yes, Spaceview 314. So they're updating the movements that they had, the 214 and 218 movements that they had in the originals. They're very similar movements, although they've updated some components with more modern materials. I'm super excited. As you can tell, I'm a big fan of the Accutron Spaceview 2020, and so this looks just as cool to me. Now, the big sticking point is the pricing. They're offering it in stainless steel, titanium, and gold. And gold is like $31,000, but then the stainless steel is just under $6,000.
Yeah.
So could make for some interesting conversation there. Although I just read an interesting piece by Jack Forster, reflecting on the pricing.
Okay.
So he seems to think it's fairly justified. Although
they all do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder whether because it wasn't this the case that they used to hum and at night you could hear them. I know Stephen, who sometimes joins on the live stream, used to talk about some of the. I don't know if they all hummed a lot, but apparently it can get quite irritating at night. The hum of the movement. So I wonder whether they refine that.
I wonder the same thing. I haven't. I think that's been implied. Jack Forster talks about the thing oscillating in F sharp, and so I think that's an indication that it does hum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's part of hence the name tuning fork, I suppose. I think it is part of the technology. I'd actually like that. If you're paying $6,000 for something like this, you want every little idiosyncrasy you can get. I can kind of see why the price would be what it would be. Fiddly bespoke electronics made just for you. You're not going to sell a lot. Yeah, I can't see it costing, I can't see it being super cheap if that's what people had in mind. I think it's going to be a couple of grand. And then once you get up to that, I suppose there's that game where a watch costs somewhere between, Christopher Ward says 1 in 3. Most other brands seem to be about 1 in 6 to 1 in 7. So let's just go, it's a 6-time markup. That means Bolivar's making this for $1,000. That doesn't feel a million miles away by the time you've got, like I said, these bespoke little electronic gizmos. So
yeah, is it limited? I thought I read that it was limited, but I can't see it.
I don't think so. I think it's normal production.
Yeah, when I say limited, I just mean there's not. It's a small market.
Oh yeah. No, I was just thinking. I was just in my mind. I was thinking that I thought they were limiting it, but
so it's not going to be mass produced like the original one was. I think the article that I read said that they sold about like 4 million of them over the lifetime of the original watch. Yeah. And in this one, I mean, I'd be surprised if they sell. 10,000? Is that ambitious?
Yeah.
I think that's highly ambitious.
Maybe 5,000. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, the Orlando Watch Company here in Winter Park, I think they claim to be the last service center of tuning forks, or the last that have the skills to do it. I don't know how.
And that's the sort of thing you've got to consider here. For Accutron to sell this in 2025, they have to establish not just somewhere to make them, but they've got to have spares and a service center, and they've got to have all that set up and give Colby confidence that they'll be able to maintain this for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
I buy that part.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, but let me be mean to watch companies for a minute because that's what I'm so good at. Because you always hear that 3 times, 6 times. That's after profits. So that's like the jewelry store guy with his
Yeah.
Lamborghini in the parking lot telling you that he's giving you a good deal. So they're still making bucket loads of money
Oh,
on
yeah.
every watch that they sell. So just as I said, I like to put that into perspective because I think everyone gives them too much of a break for how much they charge for these completely overpriced trinkets. When you can buy a sterling silver, watch with a really fancy movement for $600.
Yeah, but that one's
And
used. That one's
Yeah.
dead.
bring your loop. It looks brand new. So the
By the
idea
way,
though is
I only buy used watches.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
and as
So, but
and as I
I'm just saying, but to the defense of it, I think it's awesome that they're bringing the Accutron back. I think it's a really, really cool movement. I think it's double the price it should be, though. And I think at $3,000, they would still make plenty of profits and they would actually sell them. For 6,000, I think they're just being stupid.
yeah.
Well, it's interesting to compare the price to the Spaceview 2020. That's at, depending on which exact model, they're around 3,800 in stainless steel, which is, it's arguably a more, well, maybe not arguably a more advanced technology than the tuning fork movement. But I was able to get that about a year ago for about $2,400. So that's kind of my plan, is to wait a year or two and hope to get one for around $3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. That was a great first pick. Okay. Well, because that was another one of yours. Let's go. Oh, Pete, we'll go in with yours. Your
Okay.
the Breitling.
Yeah, it's the new version of my least favorite Breitling. I'm a Breitling fan, but I don't think I'm ever going to own a Superocean Heritage. It's I do like the 57 version, but yeah, this is probably one of their biggest sellers. I think Fratello described it as their version of the F-150 truck, which would probably be about right. I think so many people I know that have got a Breitling have got the Superocean Heritage. And I think it says something about Breitling's confidence in the new movement they're moving, that they've put it in this watch, because what that means is, we're now ready to sell thousands and thousands of these. So it's kind of like the old Superocean Heritage, but they've taken a few more of the motifs from the original. So the kind of funky, the batons at 12 have been replaced by that kind of funky space viewy thing that they had on the original. It's a lot thinner because they've moved to the AMT manufacture movement, made in a slightly smaller size. So they got rid of the 46 and they've now introduced a 40, and there is a 36 as well, but that can't use the new movement. Yeah, all in all, I think it's sensible. I find the most interesting thing about it is kind of the new movement and what that says about Breitling and where they're going. Like, this means the death of the Breitling Kinesi partnership. Breitling now use no Kinesi movements. Also interesting is the new, it might change, but all the 7750 derived movements are gone from the system, from the Superocean Heritage line. Having a quick look at the website, I can find literally 3 watches that still use a 7750. Yeah, this is Breitling making us. Breitling's very much now going to be an all manufacture movement, no more commodity movement company. And I think that's why Kinesi, they had to break it off with Kinesi, because they just can't make enough movements.
Right.
And they can't make enough interesting movements, and they're all too big. You don't get access to their full range. So I think they had.
Sorry. Do you know who that would leave Kinesi making movements for? I mean, Norcane probably. Does Tudor still have because did Breitling and Tudor have like a stake in Kinesi or an investment?
It was always so. Tudor definitely has a stake. They're the primary owner. There was always talk that Breitling had a stake in it, but there was never any evidence of that. I don't think they did. I don't think they had a financial stake in it. I think the only other brand that does is Chanel. I think they have 20%. They own 20% of it or something. Fortis also are a customer. Norcane are customers, but they're just customer relationships. They're not partnerships. I think Breitling had that slightly deeper relationship because they had a technology swap going on. Breitling gave them chronographs, Tudor gave them the three-hander, but I think that's it.
Yes. So, I mean, this is the previous version of this was the Breitling that I most ever saw in the wild. I think, like normal people would
Absolutely,
really
you would.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know quite a few people.
It's the Datejust of Breitling.
Yeah, because I know somebody who had this, and that mesh bracelet is absolutely outstanding. So I presume they've just kept the same mesh bracelet. I don't like the hands on. I make no bones about it. I don't like the hands on this. This one looks like a pine tree.
Yeah, but you like Tudor snowflake, so you have no taste.
I do like.
Guess what you think.
I love a bit of Tudor snowflake hand. Yeah, but this, I think this is the this is the one that you see a lot, and I think this is a faithful. It's an evolution of that design, isn't it? They've kept true to that heritage design, but kind of, which is good. What does everyone else think?
For me, Breitling is a brand that doesn't really get me excited about anything. I don't think they have a particularly strong identity, and the only line that gets me exciting is that Endurance Pro line with the high accuracy quarter movements. I actually have one on the way. But yeah, I guess it just looks like a fairly nondescript watch. I think it's cool. It's a cool entry level piece. I don't think it's offensive, but just doesn't do anything for me personally. Of course, you all know what I'm going to say to the bracelet. The bracelet, I do like the mesh look, but they did the one thing you can't do to a bracelet, which is make it with no micro adjust.
Yeah.
No micro adjust and no way to remove the bracelet easily. No quick release end links. So for me, that's almost a deal killer right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Buy that.
It's funny. The only reason I would buy that bracelet is because it doesn't come with micro adjust.
Oh, it's got to micro adjust these days. Yeah, I really like Breitling. I would love that three-hand chronomat, the one with the blue dial, or even the green dial, or one of the Annie Digis, the Avengers. Is it the Annie Digi ones? I've had Breitlings and loved them, so I would buy another. But that design doesn't appeal to me. Patrick, what any feelings? Strong feelings?
Oh, I mean, Pete's gonna be over the moon. I'm gonna say only nice things to the Breitling brand. So, I mean, mirroring a little bit of what Colby said, I'm kind of with you on the, I know it's got its core heritage, but it does. It just looks like a dive watch, but so does Rolex Submariner. So,
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't wow me with its personality, but I love everything they did. I like the new hands. I like the new size of the 40 millimeters. I love the bracelet. Before when it wasn't integrated, it just looked like someone was lazy. And so they finally cleaned up the watch, put an exhibition case back on the back. I don't care if it's an ugly movement or a beautiful movement. I want to see what I'm paying for. I think it is an A+ win. I'm not going to buy it yet, but I think it's a great looking watch.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly good looking. And if I wasn't sort of at the stage I'm at with my watch collection, where I look in and I've got like boxes and boxes of watches that don't look a million miles different to it, then what would be the point of buying it? But if I was just starting off, I'd buy that in preference to watches I've already got, if that makes sense.
I think it's kind of an offering that came like 3 years too late. Like that's what it always should have been. I don't know why they didn't have the integrated bracelet and some of the other improvements.
I think judging by what Breitling's done over the last 2 years, I think they have only over the last year or so have they started sending watches to YouTube people. They used to openly ignore YouTube. My guess is they really only started looking at social media about 2 years ago.
I'm not offended by a mesh that's. I think if you the way it's integrated there makes it look a little bit elegant for what is actually a watch strap that was like a utility, wasn't it? It was like the romance of it being a dive watch strap and it being a shark mesh.
I'm kind of with you. I like straight.
Yeah,
I like straight connections.
Really?
Yeah, I like straight connections.
Yeah.
No, on pretty much all of them. For me, deep down, the bracelet, unless it's an integrated bracelet, a true integrated bracelet, the bracelet is always an interchangeable accessory, and I want it to be an interchangeable accessory. And a bracelet that's pretending it's part of the watch is something I don't like.
So you ought to appreciate quick release end links then.
I do. I wish it had quick release end links.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Look, in a perfect world, there'd be someone who's developed a universal quick release system, like the IWCs and some. There'd be one of those, but it would be universal. Everyone would use it. But yeah, there isn't. So, no, I wish it had quick release end links. That's a bit dumb.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like the elegance of not having a big fat deployant clasp, which is why I don't like micro adjust because it makes the clasp too big.
Yeah. Let's just see what questions we've got. Michael's asking, is this not the type of mesh you can resize on the fly? It does have resizable links on it. It's you don't have to cut it and with the pliers.
No, that's those seatbelt style where they sort of roll over each other and then clasp down. So it's not one of those. It's a butterfly clasp.
And then you also have the mesh bracelet on the No Time to Die, which functions just like a leather strap. It has holes in it, which is that's a pretty good system too.
Yeah.
They just get very thick.
Yeah, I just bought a mesh from Watch Gecko that has that similar sort of like where it's like a watch strap where it has it's not quite like the No Time to Die, but it has that friction kind of clasp that flicks down. Okay, Patrick, you're up next with did I pick the right one? Is this
that's it.
Perigo?
So this one's gonna be fiery. I love when brands do what they did here. So make a iconic watch or a very familiar to the brand watch, make a special edition and make it fun. And for those of you who don't know, I own another Girard-Perregaux Bamford Edition, but they took their normal Laureato and they just put some spice on it. They did the same here. They took their 1970s version of a diver and they changed the colors around a little bit. And I mean, to be fair, if you find a picture of the original, it wasn't that much. So there wasn't that much ingenuity or design to this. I think it's a beautiful watch. I like it. I love that it's a limited edition. I love that it's kind of unique and special. But similar to the Accutron, whoa, the people who decided to price this watch are out of their minds. And I don't know if you guys know the price, but if you don't, what would you pay for that price? What would you pay for this watch?
So that's the original there, isn't it? It looks like.
Yeah. Did I see 5 digits?
I'm not going to sneak. So
I don't know, like $6 or $7 grand, possibly, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I've already warned you; it's silly high. So.
Yeah, to me, it looks like a under $1,000 Seiko kind of.
with a roulette rehaul.
Yeah. I've been doing this too long, and so I just know. I think of it from a branding point of view. Girard-Perregaux can't sell a watch less than 10 grand Australian, so I'm going to say 12 Australian, so 8 to 9 US.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because to sell it for less would trash their brand.
Okay, shall I show that, Patrick? 'Cause it's on the
Sure.
next- Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, so $15,000.
Yeah,
For
that's
what?
just silly.
I mean, I got invited locally. They had, I guess, a release day for this, and so I went there just for fun, even though I'd already tried it on because I think I went to a Ulysse Nardin little event they had, and they actually had this in the shop at the same time. And Watches of Switzerland, I guess, gets a month to sell it before it gets released to the rest of the world. Well, guess what? They can't sell it because, I mean, it's stupidly priced. I mean, I looked
Yeah.
at my little guy at the authorized dealer, and I was just like, "What are they thinking?" And he
Yeah.
pretty much flat out agreed. He's like, "I mean, it's bonkers priced."
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Um,
ridiculous.
Yeah, that is wow. Because that is a nice little bit of fun, isn't it? That it's quite
Yeah.
a fun, cool watch.
Yeah,
I'd
I
rather
think-
have a Seiko 5, I think.
Yeah, and what I don't know is because I see there's an orange strap as well and a blue. I don't even know if you get both. I think you have to choose, and I would think for 15 grand they'd at least give you both. And the original looks like it came on metal. They took that away, so it's like they truly gave you a lesser product and charged you. I mean, I guess they put it in titanium. Ooh, titanium, but that does not equal 15K.
So-
Yeah.
What are you paying for here? I mean, is there anything that you can maybe point to and say,
I
this
can't.
is okay?
It's a standard Gerard Perregaux movement, so there's nothing overly fancy besides it being a nice movement. It's a as Pete said, they didn't unless they release a re-release of this. They only made I think 350 of these, so they obviously had to make those cases alone. So there is some unique manufacturing to make just that case, but besides that, I mean, they didn't even put an exhibition case back on it, so it's
Yeah.
It's
I
just
suppose,
bad.
like I said, I'm not going to try and to justify, or as I think I said in a stream recently, to justify is not to say to explain is not to say to justify that I'm not going. So I don't love the price. I think the price is ridiculous. But on the other hand, the reason why I'm not shocked is, with the exception of some of the dress watches, that is still the cheapest Gerard Perregaux you can buy. So it's kind of, they can't sell it for a whole lot less.
Yeah. I think 10K would be still high, but to your point,
Yeah,
I could see
10
them saying, okay, make it 9999 and the world would be happy. But
yeah. I think
bumping it up to
15 is ridiculously high. So this is the problem brands like this get themselves into. It's like they can't sell a watch unless it costs 7, 8, 9, 10, 15,000 bucks. And that's, I'd hate to be in charge of a brand like that because you're boxed into such a corner.
Sounds like this is a good candidate for the gray market.
Oh, absolutely. The
Yeah.
danger would be, though, how many are they making?
350, I think.
Yeah, so it might not come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who just posted that? James Blund just posted the original wasn't a printed dial, and he says the case is a standard Bamford model, by the way. So
Yeah,
if that's true,
Yeah.
that's even worse.
But I don't know if that is the standard Bamford model, is it? They make a GMT, but let's have a look. They make a GMT, but I don't think it's the same case as that.
But yeah, I mean, because someone also had mentioned, obviously Bamford has to get his little cut from it, and sure, I expect that to be an extra grand or two, but
Yeah,
oof.
This GMT. I wonder if he's talking about this GMT. Yeah, no, well, it can't be that one. James Blonde. If you're gonna, yeah, so it's not none of those, is it?
Well, one of those was a little bit the shape.
Yeah, well, the GMT is sort of a little bit the shape, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not got the.
It's not going
lugs.
to cost them that much. They're Gerard Perigo's bracelet supplier is the same is the company behind not Norcane. Who's the other one?
You mean Formex?
Formex, who are also a case maker. So they probably just went to them and said, "Can you make us 350 of these cases?"
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, in that interview I did with Huey of RZE, they prototype every single watch they make is in titanium, and they prototype them in titanium and stuff. And they got that ultra hex, hardness coating that they put on the outside as well. And he says that's the biggest kind of joke. We covered it in the interview in the industry that titanium is. He says that it's just that the brands have to give titanium a little bit of a boost because it has to be seen in the product line as a more expensive material, because why would you choose it over stainless steel other than the lightness? So quite interesting interview we went into about all about titanium. Awesome. Okay, next up then, I'm really looking forward to this. I've asked Citizen to send me one when it comes through. This is the 40th anniversary of the Aqualand, with the going back to the old color scheme with the gold. So this is their iconic Aqualand with the depth gauge. They're bringing it back, 40th anniversary. This is the one that, there was a great article on Watches of Espionage about it, but this was the original. I've had one of these in the past that was stainless steel with a blue dial, but I didn't really warm to it. But this one kind of piques my interest for some reason. Anybody else feeling this one or not feeling it?
I like it, but what's the size on it? Is that a big boy?
Yeah, they are. The band on it's 24 mil. So let's just check it. They are pretty.
Yeah,
they are pretty big.
It's a good looking watch. It's too big for my puny little wrist.
Yeah. Let's just see. Case dimensions 44. Yeah, 47 lug to lug and 14.8 millimeters thick.
Oh, 47 lug to lug. That's not bad actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I quite. The band. Yeah, 24 mil on the band. But yeah, it's got quite Watches of Espionage did quite a good article on it, because it's got quite a good. It's been on spies and like dictators and stuff's wrist and the military and things like that. And the depth gauge is quite cool. The only negatives on it, I would say, is that the hand doesn't. It looks like they've done a better job of the hand, but the one that I had, the minute hand, it looked too short because it was trying not to obscure the dial there. And also the digital, you can't set the digital doesn't set the hands, I think, from memory. You have to set them to the two separately. There you go.
Yeah, I'm not the person to. I'm just not a Citizen fan. I more or less think like 90% of what they make is complete crap, and I love like the Chronomaster or the Citizen line, and I actually think there are some good Atessa models, but like stuff like this, it's just not my thing. I would never get it. I just think it's really ugly. I don't like anti-digi. I don't like the design language. I don't like the hands. I don't like the depth gauge. Why would anybody need a depth gauge like that? Nobody's going to go diving. Come on.
To be fair, it does look like it might be able to light a cigarette. The depth gauge.
It could be like one of those lasers that James Bond uses.
Yeah. But this was back in the day. This was like the OG. I think this might be one of the first watches that ever had a depth gauge on it. I'm kind of digging a hole here, but yeah, hopefully none of my contacts at Citizen US are listening. These are not my views, opinions of the channel as a whole.
Hey, and they own Accutron, which I love too.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. Okay, well then I didn't wow anybody with that one, did I? Let me see what else we've got. Oh, okay, Colby, we'll bring it back now. Let's bring it home with this. Let's get Pete fired up.
I can't get fired up by Tudor. There's not enough there to get me fired up.
So, Colby, why did you pick this? Did you pick it through love or?
No, I think so. Britt Pierce did a good review on this, and she pointed out that, this is a women's watch. She pointed out, like, even in the marketing material, women are heavily featured wearing the watch. Not that it would necessarily look bad on a man's wrist. Some men like smaller watches, but it's just probably more marketed to women.
Yeah,
And it's sorry. Go ahead.
sorry, I was sort of thinking out loud. I think Second is doing a version of this, with where the hand looks like it's melting, unless I imagined that.
Mm.
Let me have a look.
I do actually, my favorite part of this release is if I bought the regular Black Bay 37 millimeter, I would want to steal this bracelet from this one and put it on the current version.
Yeah, here you go. Let me show you. Let me wow you with this. He's going to do a limited edition where it's Pete's delight. The snowflake is melted.
Yeah, it's going to look really silly at anything other than 10
Yes.
past 10.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, especially when it's coming back round the other way. It's gonna look...
Yeah, it's kind of. I like the idea. Is it real, or is they actually making it, or are they just?
No, that it'll be a making it. Look at that, Nicholas, friend to the show, loving it there. Genius, so good. What a creative mind.
Yeah. Well, if anyone else gets the reference, I'm thinking about multiple MiGs.
No, don't
get it.
Well, I'll let it lay out there then.
Wait, is that Silence of the Lambs?
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, I remember Miggs. He's the guy who swallowed his own tongue.
And
it's like a tongue, you're saying?
No, he did something else. But
let's move on before we. I can't even remember Silence of the Lambs. Maybe I blacked it out.
You know what, Sam? Mark makes a good point. We haven't brought up Christopher Ward yet.
Yes. Well, there is some actually. The reason I've not bought it out is there is some new releases coming that are really cool, but I can't talk about them. So I don't think have they released anything new recently.
Yeah, they have. They've released a new yellow version of the Lumiere.
That is true. Let's look it up whilst we're here, so we can meet our contractual obligations. This is a contract that Christopher Ward have no idea that they've got with me. It's
one of those fancy non-paid contracts.
Yeah, exactly. It's pro bono shilling for the greater good.
What's worse than being a shill? A wannabe shill. I want to be.
I want to shill for Christopher Ward that much. I want them. Hey, please love me. Please love me, Christopher Ward. The brand, not the guy. Okay, so this looks cool. This looks cool. Do you still have yours, Colby? You went blue or orange? No.
Yeah, I actually had both at one point, but I ended up moving on. It just wasn't. Just didn't bond with it. I think I was bothered by a lack of a date on it too.
Yes. Finally, it's a confession.
But I was really impressed. Like the build quality on these, it is really good.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that's good about it. Not sure I love this colorway though.
Yeah. I like this watch, not this color.
In fact, you could take what Colby said earlier about Breitling, and that's kind of my reaction to Christopher Ward. It's like, it's fine. It's nice.
Yeah. Oh,
it's good value. But there's... Yeah, I just can't get enthusiastic about them.
That's fair.
Well, yeah, I'm still a fanboy. Okay, I'm gonna pitch as a new release. I've got to pitch this. I'm wearing it now, but the UTD 8000. The reason that I like, obviously I did the review and they kindly sent me one in for review, which they've not asked. I thought they might ask for it back, and they've not asked for it back yet. So maybe I'll get to keep it. But I just think it's cool. I personally think it's cool that a small independent brand did a digital watch, because you don't see it. I think Autodromo perhaps was the last one that did one.
Yeah.
But to do a digital watch, and the reason they explained it is because they wanted to make a really tough watch, and they just couldn't. They didn't have the resources or the passion to try and ruggedize a mechanical watch even further than what the standard kind of ruggedization is on it. So they went. And they've done really cool stuff. They dropped it out of a window. They attach it to a hockey puck. They put it on the side of a car in the snow and stuff, a truck in the side of the snow, and they drove over it and all sorts in a big truck. So I just think it's a really, it's just heartwarming that I think for me that because I love digital watches and I'm glad that they did it. So.
Yeah, I really like this one, and I'm a fan of RZE. I've owned their Asperare, and I thought that was a great watch.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, I think they do all their watches in titanium,
all of them.
and I think they make a really solid watch.
Yeah, they've only ever done titanium. So they started off titanium first, and they've got this ultra hex, which is so everything is grade 2, but they put this ultra hex on, which they say hardens it to a similar standard as what you would get for grade 5. Thankfully, Mark's not on there to dispute it on that one. But essentially, it's like I think it is a clear DLC coating, probably similar to what Jack Mason put on theirs to stop the.
What Sam? What's the price with on the bracelet?
Okay, so there is a few they had a pre-order and it's gone up a little bit. I think probably to measure with demand. You used to be able to order it with the bracelet. The only one you can get with the bracelet at the moment is this the red one, which is I think it's 400 with the bracelet, but okay, so you can only get it with elastic. They basically sold out the bracelets. And the bracelets, even if you try and buy it as a separate thing, you still can't get the bracelet. So I think they sold out of all the bracelet ones. It was like, I think it was like 210 without the bracelet, and then like 375 with the bracelet. So it was a good deal, but I think they just sold out of them all. So it looks like they're only available on the elastic. I'm guessing because of they sold out the bracelets and the production takes them a while.
I was going to say, I think this is, for people like me who are bracelet fanatics, I think this is the only digital watch with a bracelet that has a toolless micro adjust.
Okay, it does have toolless. Oh, it has on the fly micro adjust, but the link.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, yeah. On the fly micro adjust, yeah. Yeah. Okay, next up then, because I just wowed the audience with that one. How much?
Well, Sam, we didn't really say much about the Tudor.
We didn't say much about the Tudor. What did you have to say? Sorry, Patrick, I moved on.
Oh no, we showed it up and then we immediately jumped away from it once we started talking about the melted hand.
Well, go on, Patrick.
To me, that says everything you needed to know about the watch.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a quick one. I mean, I think the dial is cool. I like that they put a textured dial on there, even though that's becoming the new thing to do. You know, I've never really cared for the Black Bay 54 or whatever it's called, just, the smaller variant. I'm kind of with Colby. I feel like that's sort of more the ladies' size, even if that's politically incorrect to say. But the reports I heard, which would make me say that it's an utter no, would be it's not just only a steel bezel, but it's a polished steel bezel. And if that's true, that's really bad news.
Yeah.
Bad news because you don't like polished bezels?
Not on a dive watch. I mean, that thing is going to be a scratch magnet. I mean,
Yeah,
just like polished center links. I mean, whoever came up with that invention, they should be drugged through the streets. It's just a bad look.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. So somebody actually, Bella, welcome. Says overpriced. That she talk. If it is a she, hi. There's a that the RZE bracelet was overpriced at 180, but it's a titanium bracelet that they've coated. It's got on the fly micro adjust. I think it's actually a bargain. Considering
she doesn't want to know how much I've paid for some bracelets.
I know.
I think my Zen bracelet was like $600. The Grand Seiko one was like $800.
No.
So
you've got to get to Blancpain before you can find out what a bracelet can really cost.
Wow. Oh, Thomas, thank you so much for gifting the memberships. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, and even when I got that, well, that's what put me off that Tudor Black Bay 58 that I had, because I wanted it on the bracelet, and they're like, "Oh, get it on the silly NATO strap that costs us 50 cents to make."
Right.
And I bought it, and then I tried to get it afterwards. Want $750 for that bracelet? I was livid. I was really, really annoyed. It actually put me off the watch. Okay, next up, before we go down a rabbit hole, there, Patrick, the mighty Jaws.
Well, there's two parts of this watch that made me laugh, and one part that I actually really like. I think this classic Seiko shape is the best of the best.
Yeah,
And
totally.
I even kind of like the James Cameron-ish dial with the light to dark. I think by itself it's fine. I guess if you like the movie Jaws, I mean, I'm the idiot who bought a Dune watch, so I can't talk too much. But if you like the movie Jaws, it's not a complete buzzkill, but that ruins it obviously for me. But the big one, which is my favorite, is just what Seiko calls a limited edition.
Oh, yeah.
5,000 copies.
Wow. But where is Jaws? Doesn't feature. I couldn't work out if Jaws is actually on the dial. Sort of. Does it? Is it in the loom or something? Or
It's not, and you're right. I think they really missed the mark there. I mean, why they don't have a Jaws face right around the Seiko, I don't know. But
Your giant shark mouth.
But yeah, because they kind of took the poster, but they took the Jaws off the poster and just put the words. So it's a little bit
it has
disappointing.
the Jaws. It should have the Jaws at the bottom, shouldn't it? And then the lady swimming on the horizon.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna mark your watch a Jaws watch, I think you should really mark it. So they kind of
is there a shark on the case back?
No.
Oh,
the ship's there. The ship is on the ship is on the back.
Okay.
Engraved, but yeah, I can't see because I even watched the little video on the Time and Tide did, and it doesn't show the loom shot. So I don't know whether maybe if somebody knows if it's. I mean, because that would be cool if it kind of came alive on the loom. Let's see if they show anything. No, they don't. They don't show it, do they? They would really show that off, wouldn't they, if it was loomed? Yeah. There you go. Jaws,
I think it's a cool watch. I just think it's fun, and I wouldn't buy it, but I like when brands kind of take a fun stab at something like this.
Isn't it like $700 or something?
No, is it?
Yeah, that's kind of
1,200.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, that's kind of standard Seiko prices these days.
That's a King Seiko, yeah. Not King. A King. Is it called the King Turtle?
Yeah. Well, it looks like and it's a prospect, so it's they're supposedly better, but
What's the movement in it? Is it the?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Is it
something crap?
4R
like
or 8?
Yeah, it's 6R price range.
6R.
Yeah, let's have a look. Automatic powered movement. 6R 36.
Yeah.
4R 36. 4R, so it's the crap one.
Oh,
the one
Christ!
Oh
wow.
Yeah. I guess the rest of the money goes to Jaws.
You have to pay more for Jaws on there. Awesome. Okay, let's go with next up. So we did that. We did. Oh yeah. Okay. So we'll go sort of Breitling adjacent Norcane, and this watch. I don't know if you've seen Norcane of. I don't know if they gave one to Mark Wahlberg, the actor, but he's been wearing one. This is the ice cream watch. Has anybody else seen this?
Yes.
Yes.
Go on, Pete. What's your feelings?
I don't mind.
Ice cream.
I don't mind. Yeah.
It's not Neapolitan, is it? Because it's no chocolate, but
no. No, I'm perfectly fine. Or blue ice cream. I don't know what ice cream would be blue. But yeah, it's a perfectly nice watch. I like the way they play a little bit. I don't know what the price is. It's
5,190 on the stainless steel bracelet.
It's not shockingly out of whack for a small brand 7750 powered watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I wouldn't buy it myself, but I could certainly understand why other people did.
I'm going to see if I can find it on Mark Wahlberg's wrist. There we go.
Oh.
I'm sure he had the new. I'm sure it's. Oh, there you go. On TikTok, he's wearing it there. Let's see if we got that. Let's see. Oh, there he is. Very proud.
Yeah.
Oh, he's promoting the watch?
Yeah, he got a paycheck.
Yeah. All right, Mark Wahlberg.
There you go.
Oh, he really got a paycheck if he threw it up like
Yeah.
that. That's just a full-on ad.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. He's getting his calves in there as well. Look at that. And the
Nice.
six pack. That was extra for them to get that in there. Okay, then next up we had we did that one. We did okay. I was going to do a G-Shock, but I know Pete, you're not a fan of those. We'll do another Seiko. I really did. Anybody see these? I quite like them, but again, I think they've got that 4R36 in them again, so I just can't do it. Yeah, they've recreated the vintage one. So, of the Apollo is that Apollo 13?
Is that what one of the? It's not what the astronauts wore; it's what the commanders on the ground wore.
Exactly. So it was the character Ed Harris wore. In
the radio
film.
guy.
Yeah, he was he the Houston We Have a Problem guy? I think.
Well, no, that was Tom Hanks.
Yeah, but to him, I think it was him. Yeah, maybe. I really like these, but I just can't do it. I just can't. Can I do it? I don't know. They're also a little bit small. They are 38 by 44.7.
Yeah, for a dive watch, it'd be too small for me.
Yeah.
What are these? Do we say what movement these have? Is it
they
4R?
Have 4R36 in them again. But this one, 4R36, of course, another one of your limited editions there, Patrick.
Yeah.
Damn, if you're that 10,000th person, you missed out. So it's got, so $460. So is that 460 euro there? So
probably like $500.
Yeah, but isn't that surprising that the same movement is in that Jaws watch, and that Jaws watch is 2.5 times the price?
Not really, sort of, kind of. For me, it is surprising because Seiko normally links the movement to the case work and everything else. So, like, if you're 4R, you're the really basic case work, really basic indices. 6R, they ramp everything up in common. So it's unusual for them to do what they did with the Jaws. But if this is actually what I would expect a 4R movement, and what that tells you is the casework will be fine. It'll be standard micro brand type stuff.
You can already see some gaps there. That's
and it's at the end of the day, it's a day date, which is pretty horrible looking. So, I mean, you take a date and make it worse.
I don't. I'm not a fan of the day. If you don't know what day it is, something's really wrong.
I like it. I actually really do like this. This is the kind of Seiko that I just love the look of. I mean, I think that must be the original there. So they've done a pretty good job of getting it pretty close.
Yeah, so. I'm not a fan of this kind of reproduction of old stuff. I'd rather just buy the old one. So I mean, it's a watch.
Yeah, I'm with Pete on that one. I mean, and particularly for the price, you could probably get the original for $200. So if not less.
But I do understand that, because like if I like the look of this watch, I mean, for me this watch is an aggressive yawn, but if I like the look of this watch, I'm totally a fan of vintage watches being remade with modern production standards and materials.
Yeah.
I don't mind I don't mind them being made. That doesn't make me want to grab my torches and pitchforks, but I'm just never going to buy one. I've actually bought one, and then one sort of modern reproduction of a vintage watch, And all it did was inspire me to go sent me on a 4-year journey to find the original, and now that's the only one I wear.
No, that is cool. Did anybody have any? I've got another Seiko, but I know we sort of kept the Seikos to the end. But did anyone have one that we missed?
Oh man, we could talk about the newest release from Monta.
Monta. Okay, let's.
Did anybody get their new colorway? They released a new colorway in their Ocean King.
Okay,
with ads promising that something big was coming.
Okay, was it this? It wasn't this.
It was. Yeah.
Was it?
Christ.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Tiffany 2 years too late.
Yeah. It wasn't. I don't think it was this week, but it was within the last few weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
How is it they knew what Rolex was going to release this year? Magic.
And they copied Tudor as well.
Is this an Australian brand or is it a...
God no.
No, it's out of it's based out of St. Louis.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, I get them confused. Am I getting them confused with? Oh, well.
There's second hour.
Wait,
Yeah,
second hour.
Kind of like
that
this.
Melbourne watch company I did as well. I don't know whether they're still around.
Yeah, they're still kicking around.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's finish off. The last Seiko I had was the rebirth of the Marine Master. I love this. I love the look of it. They've got a new innovative bracelet system, which
really?
this section here, if it shows you, I'll show you. Well, let's click into it because it will show you the. Go to the special website. They've created a new linkage on the bracelet for some unknown reason. That let's have a look if it loads. Where are we? Come on. Where are we? Here. Yeah. So it's got. The only problem is the price. It's like 4,600, but maybe you can get it a little bit cheaper. It doesn't have a spring drive in it either. It does have the AL35, I think. Yeah. Evolving the case, the watch features a one-piece titanium construction. It ensures water resistance, suitable saturation diving at the same time. The screws that secure the bezel within the watch's construction are on the back of the case, allowing for seamless aesthetic. So I don't really know.
No case. So no case back. If you want to get it serviced, they go through the front probably.
Yeah,
and they have to take the entire thing out.
And then they've got this kind of system here, which I thought might be rubber or something, but it doesn't really explain it properly what it is. But yeah, it's got an AL sort of high quality movement in it, so I'd love the look of it. And I think there is micro adjust on the bracelet, if I'm not mistaken. Am I lying?
I'm saying my only number that scares me is how thick is it?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be thick. Let's have a look.
But I mean that's a gorgeous watch. I love the dial, the case and bracelet. Yeah, that's top tier.
Maybe it doesn't have micro adjust because they would show it off here, wouldn't they?
Not necessarily, but yeah. It'd be like, yeah, fine.
Yeah, so this, I don't know what this, I mean, it does look cool, this extra piece of anodized whatever it is, but...
It's supposed to make it more secure?
Yeah, I don't know, let's have a look. I thought it would say there.
Oh, yeah, 16 millimeters.
Oh, 16 thick,
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's thinner than a lot of the Omegas out there.
Push button release. So I think maybe push button release means that it is micro adjust.
Solid and slide adjuster. That sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But it doesn't explain. It shows it in the exploded view, but it doesn't explain why they've done that. Anyway, yeah, I think it's cool. There you go. Awesome. Well, we're at the end of the hour. That was a really cool show. Thanks to the panel for joining me, and thanks to the audience for being so active in the comment section. Cool. Well, as always, we really appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time on Casual Watch Talk Sunday Social. Bye, everyone.
Take care, all.
See ya.